welcome to the show. Dominic McCauley is here.
Yeah.
Yeah. How you doing, mate? Right?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Thank you. Yeah, another great top 10. And it's really refreshing to not, to just pick your top 10 tracks and not, doesn't have to be singles, doesn't have to be, you know, numbers like all killer or whatever. You can just pick your favorites.
The less rules, the better, mate. The less rules, the better. Um, I got a little, my usual spiel. If anyone doesn't know Scorpions, but everyone who's into melodic rock, hard rock should know
Yeah.
Scorpions, obviously. But formed, I mean, I'll get on to something else in a minute, but the obviously formed way back in 1965.
Wow.
Um, Rudolph was the main, he was the founding member, apparently. My favorite lineup is obviously the 80s, like the main 80s lineup, because that's really when I got into them with obviously Rudolf Schenker, Klaus Main, Matthias Jabs, Francis Buchholz on the drums, and Francis Buchholz on the bass, wasn't it? Herman Rarebell on the
Herman
drums.
Rare on the drums. Yeah.
Um, Klaus Minor, sorry, or Mine, Klaus,
Mi-
Klaus on the vocals. Let's go
Mina.
with Klaus.
Mina is the last
Mine.
one I heard, but
Right, okay, we go with that. We go with that. Um, that's my favorite lineup. 19 studio albums. 19. Um, it's really weird when certain bands. I don't know about you, Dom. I was thinking about this on the way home today to do this Zoom with you. There's a lot of bands I think of them in stages. Like Journey is one of them, for instance. You got Journey, their beginnings of the 70s, and then you got their melodic 80s AOR period. Queensryche would be another one. You got their classic
mm,
period, you got the shit period, and then you've got the again good period.
a
I think
rebirth. Yeah.
Scorpions are. It could be three periods for me. I'm thinking like obviously the early stages up to probably before Love Drive, then Love Drive
Yeah.
onwards, and then you've
Yeah.
got this period where hit and miss period, I would say,
Yeah.
90s. So I think of it in three periods for me, Scorpions. Don't know
Yep.
about you. Is that how you
No,
think?
I mean, I am with you. There's definitely lots of fans out there with the Uli John Roth period.
Mm.
I remember I think Tokyo Tapes might have been even the first Scorpions album I ever heard.
Was
Way
mine
back
as well.
when
Was mine. It was mine as
a
well.
neighbor had it or something. But for me personally, my love of Scorpion starts with Love Drive.
I'm saying
I
as
know
you.
it's kind of a populist opinion, but I can't help it.
You like what you like, and again, I think some
Yeah.
of if you was born in 1960 maybe or even earlier, probably that first period was probably your favorite period. It's just that's part of
Hmm.
it as well, isn't it? So we've got 10 songs to talk about, mate. I have actually done a top 10. One of the first programs I've done before. Didn't look at that again because things have changed, I think, a lot.
What do you mean? Oh, you've done a top 10 before.
But fucking hell, mate. This was like the beginning of the channel.
Oh,
Obviously, we've had another album out since then, and you know, your mindset changed. And I remember a couple of the songs I definitely had on it, but this is definitely different from what I remember because even you can't ever forever same top 10, even if they don't bring any releases out, it can change, can't it? So
absolutely. Yeah. I mean,
I did mine from
with a band
scratch.
like this, with a band like this, it's the choices are endless. It was both easy, but it was hard as well because you don't want to leave off a lot of stuff. But with a band that's so ingrained in your listening since you were a teenager or whatever, it's just, oh yeah, gotta have that, gotta have that, gotta have that. There's my top 10. Really.
Yeah, yeah. And I was the same as you, Tokyo Tapes, I think, and then obviously Love Drive onwards was a massive
Yeah.
part of my life. Probably up to I probably stopped listening to them quite so much when I heard Crazy World. Probably
Hmm.
when I was like, and I was a bit disappointed, and then heard everything since then. But was they was one of my probably top five bands easy back in the 80s,
Yeah.
mid 80s. But anyway, top 10, and I go first,
Okay.
don't I?
You go first, yeah.
Yeah, I go first. So 10 brilliant choices, I must say. Um, Going to 1988 with the first one. A bit of a
Okay.
deep cut, I would say. This a bit of a deep cut. By the way, this was. I think this album gets a bit of grief. I think it's like not a lot of people seem to sing its praises. It's Savage Amusement album. I fucking love this album.
Yeah,
Um,
even at the time, I remember, yeah, it was kind of a muted response.
mm,
They did take 4 years, which was a long time back in the 80s to do an album.
with a live album
Um,
in between, obviously, wasn't it?
yeah, but yeah, that might have had something to do with it. I don't know. I like it too.
Brilliant, brilliant album. And probably one of the deeper cuts, which I absolutely love. You know, I'm a medium pace guy anyway.
Hmm.
And at number 10, I've got Every Minute, Every Day.
Oh
I
wow,
just,
yeah.
I just love the way the verses sort of ride on that. Well, it seems that I was lost in a. The verses are definitely the highlight for me on this. I love everything
Yeah.
about it, but those verses are just like it rides on this wave of riffs that just hang out, and it's easily the best song on the album for me. Every minute, every day, just a brilliant deep cut. If you haven't heard it,
Cool.
um, this definitely wasn't a single, I don't think, or anything like that, and it always stood
No,
out
I
to
don't
me.
think so.
Even
Yeah.
since
Oh,
'88, I was
fantastic.
like, yeah, that's a great track. So
Yeah.
that's my number 10. Every minute, every day.
Cool. Great choice. For me, my number 10 is a very well-known song from an album that this is the only track I had, spoiler alert, the only track I have from this album, but it's from Love at First Sting and it's Bad Boys Running Wild.
Oh yeah.
It's just got it's got a great feel to it, I mean, it's obviously one of their signature songs, but I love that era of the 80s where all these bad boys were running wild. There was
Yeah.
there was White Snake with Bad Boys. There was Accept London Leather Boys. Yeah, I mean, I don't know where these boys were, but they were all running wild. And, I don't know. I mean,
Simplistic times, mate. Simplistic
I guess
times,
maybe they're
honestly.
talking about gangs or whatever. I don't know. It just was funny that there's so many. Oh, and MSG had a Bad Boys song. Yeah, it was just a very prevalent
Mm,
topic. But yeah, I've just always loved this.
yeah,
It really is the pinnacle of that album for me. Um, so yeah, love it. Never get tired of it.
brilliant. What a riff as well.
If you
Da,
don't
da,
play
da,
along with
da,
this
da, da, da,
game,
da. Oh, that's fucking
yeah,
excellent.
that's
Brilliant choice. Absolutely. I'm going to from our number 9. I'm going to the same album, and
oh
this
cool.
is this is a song that when I got the album, it wasn't a standout for me. But I think there's certain songs on that Love at First Sting album that I played. I probably played that album to fucking death, mate. That album, Love at First Sting. I mean,
Is
man,
it?
probably my most played album of school. It's not my favorite, but I think during those '80s period, I was like bang bang. I couldn't stop listening to it.
It's their
Um,
best selling as well, by the way. So,
yeah, yeah, you can see that they hit all the right notes on that one. Um, but it is again a deeper cut, which I didn't like at the time, and I fucking love it now. And it's as soon as the good times roll.
oh
I
yeah, I
just,
remember you mentioning that before. Yeah.
yeah, love it, man. Just it's got that sort of they sometimes, which will come on my list later. They sometimes incorporate this sort of like slight reggae feel, don't they, with the guitars? In this one,
Yeah.
it's oh my like that bit. And they've done that
Hmm.
before, and they do it. They've
Yeah.
done it recently as well. But man, as soon as the good times roll, I just love that song now, and it's a highlight of the album for me. So that's that one. Number 9.
Got a good feel to it. Absolutely.
It
Yeah.
has. It has.
Okay. Number 9 for me is from Blackout, the classic Blackout, 1982. This is Arizona,
Oh,
which shouldn't
oh,
come as a surprise to you. I believe we've both mentioned this track before. Fantastic. Just, it just makes you smile. It's a fantastic track. Scorpions get pretty dark sometimes, which is I love that about them. But this is just shiny like a convertible. You know what I mean? This is
oh,
just a terrific, terrific song. Definitely a driving with the wind and well, it's not your hair, but The Wind on Your Face.
Oh, mate.
Yeah, just a
Yeah.
great classic track. And how it's not a single, who knows? I mean,
Yeah.
that to me, that sounds like a hit right there. But the album did well on its own anyway, so it's fine. But yeah, Arizona, terrific song.
I mean, you just mentioned As Soon as Good Times Roll being a bit of a feel good song. Arizona has got to be the feel good song, hasn't it, from Scorpions?
Yeah.
That's a fucking. If ever you want to put a summer album on, or same with
Mm,
summer, Nick. Oh, that's it. That is an amazing song. I love that song.
yeah. We love it.
Absolutely
Yeah.
brilliant. Brilliant choice. I'll tell you, mate. I don't know if you agree with this, but I think Scorpions in that '80s period were the best band at ballads. I think they
Now
were.
you know I'm not a big ballad guy, so
I know you're not,
um,
but man,
they absolutely did ballads that really that people absolutely love to this day. That's never been the appeal for me, but yes, I agree. They really have some outstanding ballads.
they do. And I know that the '80s were a period where every band did ballads. I know that, but I think when a Scorpions album came out, I was one of them people was like, I wonder what the ballad's gonna be this time.
Where's the
And
ballad?
oh man, they made some amazing ballads. So obviously, my number eight's going to be a ballad. Um, Love Drive and Always Somewhere.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
oh man, what a song! Just what a song! And if anyone is a Lynyrd Skynyrd fan as well, if you like a bit of Lynyrd Skynyrd, you played this next to Simple Man, the beginning of it,
Mm.
almost you wouldn't. I don't actually know when it comes on, if it's when Simple Man comes on or Always Somewhere comes
Oh,
on.
is it that close for you? Wow.
It's that close until the song starts and you realize. But what a song! Just they're really good at that acoustic, and then guitars coming in heavy ballads. Always Somewhere has always been a one of my favorite tracks from them. So that's my number eight. Brilliant song.
Right on. Okay. Number eight for me. Let's see. Oh yeah. Well, you know that it's hard being so apart.
Apart,
This
and
is
it's you.
only yeah, that's the one. That this is Only a Man from Animal Magnetism. Yeah, I just love that. For me, again, this, as you said, for another song, it's all about the verses on this one for me. It's just
Oh,
so catchy. And it's almost, as I said before, they always have a kind of a dark vibe. And this actually has that kind of very, Scorpions were one in a million back then. Like you knew exactly who it was. There was no, and this has that kind of menacing, but it's
yeah.
just I just love it so much. Kind of
Well,
dark, but catchy, and
well, I think that album in general was dark, wasn't it? I feel it's like quite dark compared. It almost, for me, when that came out, I almost felt it sounded a bit closer to their older sort of sound than Love Drive did. It
mm,
was almost,
yeah,
but man, yeah, great song. Almost it just follows the vocals, follow the riff.
yeah. Well, I love how it opens and it's just like, and then it kicks in.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Fantastic stuff.
Absolutely super.
Yeah, Only a Man. That's the one.
Excellent song. Excellent song. My number seven is brilliant. I love this song. I love it for lots of different reasons, but I think I've grown to love it even more. And it's Coming Home.
Oh yeah.
I just love this song. I was really disappointed. I love Worldwide Live, by the way, the live album. But what Scorpions do quite a bit on that album was they cut bits out that I loved.
Hmm.
So Coming Home, I think they went straight into the song rather than the
Oh right.
quiet bit at the beginning. And I just love the song as it is with the really almost like it's going to be a ballad, isn't it? And then bang, they just go into Coming Home. It's just
Yeah.
frenetic. Just
Take out.
love the
Yeah.
song. Just a kick-ass song from beginning to. I think this is probably a bigger song for them as well, isn't it? But I think they've always played it live for quite a while. But Coming Home, just absolutely fantastic. That's off Love at First Sting, by the way, 1984.
It is. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, a great one as well. Can't argue with that. Number seven is, it's a classic. I'm surprised it's not higher. I guess it's just maybe the familiarity of it, but I never get tired of it. And it's almost like a Neon Nights where it's so full of energy. Title track Blackout.
Oh
It's just, it's a staple. It's not one of those rock songs that it comes on. I was like, oh God, I've heard this 5 million times because I have heard it 5 million
yeah.
times. But it's still it's one of those just energy crackles out of the speakers. It really is. And just the whole thing, and towards the end, and the glass
Gosh,
crashing. And yeah, it's just it's classic. It's right up there. So yeah,
it's a brilliant track.
blackout,
Fantastic track.
blackout.
Where is it? Blackout.
Uh-huh.
Just brilliant. Oh, I've, I haven't even talked about anyone individually in the band yet, but I must say that Klaus, when people put these posts on Facebook, like who has the most recognizable voice,
Mm,
you can't mistake Klaus, can you? It doesn't
yeah, and
matter.
he doesn't get mentioned in those kind of things either.
You know, I always say that, and even the missus, like when she's listening, she doesn't know all the Scorpion songs. When a Scorpion song goes, she goes, "That's Scorpions." Straight away. Doesn't
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
because of Klaus, because his voice is so recognizable. Just brilliant. Okay, my number six, sort of a ballad, sort of not, because Scorpions really broke these songs up into heavy parts and slower parts. But it's Holiday. I love
Of
Holiday.
course.
I can't stop talking in his voice as well. But Holiday is my number six. Off of Love Drive, right on the end of the album, quite epic. Probably about 6 minutes long or something, maybe 5.5, 6 minutes long. But like again, it's broken up into this acoustic part, which is beautiful, by the way, absolutely beautiful. And then it goes into the heavy parts as well. Then goes back into the acoustic part at the end with just a lot of acoustic solo. I remember watching that. I had the worldwide live video
Mm.
as well, and I watched it. I must have worn it out. Do you know what I mean? It's just time and time again. Um, and again, live, they didn't play the heavy part. They just played the quiet part, which was like, oh.
Mm.
But on that, there was a part where they're talking about Still Loving You, like obviously another ballad of theirs. And Klaus was saying about Holiday, and like we remembered when they wrote that, and when Rudolph wrote that, the main acoustic part of it. And I remember there's one thing about Scorpions that I is more than any other band. They transport you into whatever the song's about sometimes. So when you hear Holiday, it ain't just lyrically. It makes you think of somewhere far away. You know, the Spanish type guitar. They're brilliant at that.
Yeah.
Just bringing the feels and emotions and transporting you into another time or place. And Holiday is exactly that. Just an absolutely amazing song. That's my number
Yeah,
six.
I agree. Yeah, when he says "Let me take you far," that's just like an invitation to,
It
to
is.
open up your mind to
Yeah.
let
Fucking
me
brilliant.
take you far away. Perfect.
Okay.
Holiday, fantastic. All right. Okay, so this is my most obscure song. This is off a later album. This is off of 2004's Unbreakable, which for me was a real comeback album because it was after Pure Instinct, which wasn't
It's okay.
horrible, but it
It's
was
okay.
lots of ballads and stuff. And then the one after that was the one where they got kind of experimental and 90s grungy kind of thing or whatever. Eye to Eye.
Oh,
So this one, yeah, this was just back to basics. There's a song on here I've always loved, and it's called Can You Feel It?
hmm.
It's about mid-album, and it's there's no intro. It just can you feel it? Love is everywhere. And it's just such an anthem.
Hmm.
I would have loved to have seen them do this live. I don't even know if
Hmm.
they did it on this tour. But it's for me, it's just one of their best like rock anthems. It's got a kind of United, Priest United vibe, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think it's terrific, and it's never gotten old. And every time it comes on, still, what, 2004? So that was 20 years ago now. Um, I still love it. It's still fantastic. So I would recommend, out of all of the maybe album covers that we're talking about, man,
Hmm.
this one really nobody listened to, and
Yeah,
it's a really good album. But this song just stands out. Fantastic stuff.
very cool. Thanks, mate. Thanks for that. Right, midway point. I'm on number five. I'm going to Animal Magnetism.
Hmm.
Um, I think this is the standout track. It's probably the most obvious one, but it's the opening track and Make It Real. I just love
Yeah.
this. It's really weird. When you think an album for a while, you sometimes slip up when you think an album's called a title of a song. For some
Mm,
reason, I get mixed up with Animal Magnetism and Make It Real. I would almost Make It Real would be such a cool fucking name for the album as well, wouldn't it? I suppose.
right.
But Make It Real was what a song, and I think it's probably what that step towards their more melodic side, and that was the single as well.
Yeah.
What I love about this song as well, again, the verse, well, everything about it's brilliant, but the verses, it's really weird things that you pick up on things that are really cool, and I love that you can hear their hands going up and down the strings of the guitars
All
on
right.
this. You can hear it, and it's something has always been with me. I just love that. But the song itself, it's a beautiful song actually. It's beautiful, but it's not a rocker. It's sort of in between.
Yeah,
But such a catchy song. Make It Real is my number five.
it really is. Yeah. I mean, no one else could do that except for Scorpions, that song, really,
They
you
couldn't.
know. Okay, number five for me is from Love Drive.
Yeah,
And it's the title track.
nice.
Title track, Love Drive. On Wings of Fire. So
What a
good.
what an album cover. What an album cover as well.
Yeah.
Oh mate.
You drive me crazy, babe. Dun,
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 da, da, da.
dun.
I mean, it's just so good. And that was
Yes,
so ingrained in growing up, because I would have been 13, and that's when they really started busting out. And it's just, just reminds me of being a spotty teen. Well, actually, I never really had spots, but being a teenager, and yeah, just all those things are new, and
amazing.
that's just great. Sounds great still. Love it.
Yeah. Michael Schenker, I think, was in that on that album as well, wasn't he? I believe. Just for the one album, wasn't it? I believe, from what I can
Yeah,
remember.
I don't. Maybe he didn't tour. I don't remember
Yeah, he wasn't there long.
the where's and why
Um,
from it.
yeah. Great, great album. Absolutely love it. That's when like I said, we've always spoken about that. That's when I really got into Scorpions as well.
Yeah,
Um,
very deep for them as a band, I think.
yeah. Okay. My number four is the newest song, and
Okay.
It's off of Rock Believer, the last album.
Hey,
I mean, with
cool.
that album, some of it I think was, obviously we don't get Scorpions albums much, do we? For a start. So the excitement of the album, some a little bit hit and miss, I'd say sometimes, but I think what they did really well on that album is they paid homage, I think, to their past really well,
Yeah,
and they gave
even down to the album cover, which I love. That looks like
album
a
cover
like a
brilliant.
'70s album cover. Fucking
Oh
love
yeah,
it.
yeah, it's fucking brilliant. Um, and I think, like, whether you were a 70s fan, you had a bit of that on there. You definitely had the 80s on there, some of it, and maybe some of their later career as well. But the one song that really sticks with me from the album, and easily the best song, is Shining of Your Soul.
Oh
It's
wow.
just, and it's got that again. It's got that, is there anybody there sort of
Mm,
guitar work. And it really hits every single part of the Scorpions I love, and that's what I really honed in on that album. I know sometimes, I think with Scorpions now, with any band that's been going since 1965 and you love them for so long, you want them now to give you something that you've always loved about them, rather than go off in
yeah,
some weird direction, don't you? So
like eye to eye. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. The Shining of Your Soul, Rock Believer, the standout track for me, easily. Yeah.
Pushes all your buttons, man.
Oh
That's a
yeah,
Lee song for sure.
it is. It is.
Should have guessed that one. Okay, so we're up to Crazy World now for me. I think maybe at the time I was sort of like you. it's more by osmosis that I started to really, these songs really started to uh, come into it for me. Don't love the production on that album. And
Yeah.
obviously, the whole album was overshadowed by the whistling song. Um, but now, when I hear tracks off it come up on shuffle or whatever, I'm like, this is actually pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
And this one came in at number 4, so it was a single, but it was much later. I think it's probably the last single off the album. This is "Hit Between the Eyes."
Mm.
Really rocking song. Ready for that hit between the eyes.
Oh,
Just
it's good song.
really driving. The video was for a movie, Free Jack or something. Yeah, Free Jack, I think it was for. So it was them interspliced with the movie. But yeah, that song has just grown through the years for me. I think it's really one of their standout, just driving, fantastic. It's the complete opposite of the whistling song. You know what I mean? So on the same album, you have that, and then you have this absolute fucking pedal to the metal rock and roll. But yeah, one of those great songs. It'd be great if they brought it back for a set list or something, because I think it needs to be rediscovered. Really good one. Hit Between the Eyes.
It's a great song. I'm the same with you. I think it was the first initial reaction was how the album sounded. Because you had this. I suppose a lot of people don't like Savage Amusement because it's almost polished, really polished sounding, isn't it?
Very polished.
Probably as polished as they got, like the typical late '80s, how they all went polished.
Yeah.
Every band went polished, and then but I loved it still. And then literally you had this sort of raw, sort of not fully produced album. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? But yeah, in the end, the songs they stand out, don't they? Because it's just that's what it's all about.
In between, it's an uneven album. I'll give you that, but individual songs here really really kick ass.
Very cool, very cool. Well, obviously I've got to go back to the ballads. So
of course.
I've always loved this song. It's the feel of it, the emotion, again, the way they transport you into whatever. It's just Scorpions are the best at that. So I'm going back to Blackout and When the Smoke is Going Down.
Oh wow,
man, it's just such a beauty. It always rides again. It rides on this sort of acoustic guitar wave. Beautiful vocals by Klaus, of course. Just amazing. Yeah, the standout ballad for me. One of the, well, you could call the next one a ballad, but if it's proper ballad Scorpion territory,
all right.
Because I suppose with Scorpions they are very melodic, aren't they? So what you would call a ballad for them, or another band might not be a ballad for them. So you know what I mean. This is a proper one.
I think we know that we know the distinction. I think. Yeah, it's something that never goes above a very languid tempo. You know what I mean? It's not mid-paced. It's like, it's very languid. Yeah. So.
That's such a cool song. When the Smoke is Going Down. I don't ever remember that being talked about is in the way of other ballads of theirs. But
it got overshadowed by Still Loving You, didn't it? So that was the big one off that album.
That's my number 3, mate. When the Smoke is Going Down.
Okay.
Beautiful song.
Number 3 for me is Loving You Sunday Morning off of Love Drive. Everything about the song is catchy. The opening riff. Ooh, la, 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 la. Ooh. I mean, that part is just incredible. Dun, 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 dun. I mean, there's so many little bits that are just, everything's great about this song. Yeah.
Do you know what? We haven't really spoken about guitar work yet. But I've got to say, Scorpions, what I miss about bands in general now is the way that the Scorpions were brilliant at this. The way the Mateus jabs, especially, and just used to break off into these little. It's almost like the end of every line that Klaus sang. Mateus would come in with a guitar
solo. A little bit of a solo, yeah.
And they were brilliant, and it's so melodic, and you would know those notes off by heart, wouldn't you? And Loving You Sunday Morning is another example of that. Well, the funny thing about this, I mean, where I was in a band when I was younger, sometimes I probably used to pay attention more to guitars and stuff then. But this must be the easiest song for one of the guitarists to play because one of them's going da da
Rudolph.
da, yeah, and then the other one's just going chugging, just ding 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 ding, ding nearly all the way through it. But it's
Yeah,
such a fucking excellent song. It is absolutely brilliant.
it's great. Yeah, it really yeah, it's got a great feel and
Yeah,
brilliant Scorpions. Yeah.
it is. Okay, so my number two, which I'm not going to call a ballad because it's the Scorpions, but you know, you could argue that. Getting back to Blackout again,
Yeah.
um, and You Give Me All I Need. You give me all I
Wow.
need. Oh man! And again, this has got a verse. It's like that Spanish guitar. But can't you see? You hurt me inside. You're killing me. And that guitar, that acoustic guitar, it's beautiful, man. It transports me
Wow,
again
I
to
did
like,
not know that was going to be so high.
yeah, I
Wow,
fucking love
cool.
it. And the cool thing about this, I mean, back if you asked me that question back in the 80s, I probably would have chose a song that I think was before it, which was a big hit, which was No One Like You. And that's the song I would have chose back then. And then over time,
Yeah.
You Give Me All I Need, which is right next to it, I think, it just like took over. Do you know what I mean? But
Okay,
what a song. Love it.
cool.
There you go. That's my number two.
I have a friend who I don't know if he watches our shows, but we had a conversation about Blackout not too long ago. And he's like, I love that album. It's my favorite Scorpions. There's only one song I don't like. You give me all I need.
What the fuck is wrong with him?
So you know who you are if you're watching this.
Fucking hell, I don't know. Very disappointed. Very
Isn't that
disappointed.
hilarious?
Yeah,
It's all just taste, isn't it?
it is, mate.
Oh,
It
that
is.
cracks me up. Okay. Number two for me is one of their biggest songs, Animal Magnetism. Number two for me is Falling in Love.
Oh yeah, love this.
Falling in
Sing it loud,
love.
yeah. Ugh. Oh!
Oh, that was a great sound, by the way.
Yeah, it's a brilliant song.
Yeah, Falling in Love. It's one of those that I hadn't probably listened to Animal Magnetism for a few years. Especially through the late '80s and '90s, there was so much new rock that I didn't really go back and listen to those late '70s, early albums or
Hmm.
early '80s albums from anyone very often because there's so much flooded of melodic rock coming out at that time. But then when I finally put it on, I'm like, falling in love. I kind of forgot about this song.
Yeah, yeah, it's
And it's
brilliant.
just become a favorite for the last 20, 30 years now. Um, it's just a fantastic track.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
absolutely amazing track. I love that song. I love it. Brilliant one, mate. Okay, my number one. This is going to surprise you.
Ooh,
This will
is it?
surprise you. Yes, but fuck me, this song. It gets me every time. So it's probably because of the live album, which tells you that it's going to be something that's not in my favorite period of my Scorpions,
Okay.
fandom. But it's off Taken by Force, so 1977, and
Oh,
it's
I might
Will.
know what this is.
Will
We'll burn the sky.
oh yeah, you got it. Yeah, yeah. Just brilliant, and it is like Scorpions do this, don't they? Like I said, Holiday's a similar structured song with the quiet parts, and then it goes heavy. But this song, man, oh, and I think I did first hear it on Tokyo Tapes. But man,
Mm,
what a song! We'll Burn the Sky.
I love it too. Yeah, I love it
Oh
too.
man, it's just amazing. So like the only song really, I mean, I like a few songs, older songs. I mean, I don't know what you're going to choose your number one. I don't want to spoil anything, but like I love the song In Trance and Life's Like a River. The older sort of stuff. But when it
Mm.
comes to like, I wouldn't have them in my top 10, but Will Burn the Sky, man, that was just something special. It really was. So that is my number one. Will Burn the Sky.
Wow, fantastic. I knew that you liked it. And then
Yeah,
once you said it was off that album, I'm like, oh shit.
yeah,
That's Will Burn the Sky. I think we did like a '70s show where we picked a track from each year or something. And I
Yeah.
picked that song, and you're like, fuck, I forgot about that song.
Yeah, fucking brilliant. I love it,
When
man.
I the last time I saw them was on their farewell tour,
Hmm.
back in, I don't know, what was it, late two, 2000s, 2009, maybe something like that, 2010. And they did "We'll Burn the Sky" on it, and
Oh,
they had like flames that came up when it got rocking. That's pretty cool, pretty
oh
good.
man, this is such a great
Okay,
song.
so my number one, when I say it, you'll be like, "Oh yeah, of course," because I think I've talked about it a few times on this channel. It can only be this song. It's always been my favorite. Nothing gets my head banging more. One, two,
Two,
one,
one,
two,
two,
one,
one,
two,
two.
three,
Ah, dang, dang.
four. That's the one. Can't live without you. Just it's just I don't know, something special about that song. It'll always be my favorite. It's got such a feel. Again, just electricity coming out of the speakers. Um, just a rocker. Yeah, it's so great, and especially the extended live bit where they do the
Oh, it's fucking brilliant.
the crowd gets going, and yeah, it's really good. So, yeah, Blackout, Can't Live Without You, my number one,
I
always
used
will
to,
be.
I remember I've mentioned quite a few times, as you know, like my brother, I got, used
Ah,
to
yeah,
listen to his stuff. He had that as a single. I can't remember what was on the other side. I really can't remember, but I thought it was a weird structured song, especially the verses, the way it's
it
sort of like,
is.
it's sort of stop start, isn't it? But then you've got other parts that are very chuggy and like you said, it's a fantastic song. It's an absolutely brilliant song. Can't live without you. And brilliant guitar work
It's kind of
again.
a simple song, but it's just, again, it's one of those kind of, I always mention like Neon Nights and Blackout, and one of those tracks that is just, you know, straight out of the box, just, chills up and down my spine.
And also that the lyrically, Scorpions have never tried to be
Cool.
object, or try, what they're fucking talking about. And a lot of bands did it back then in the 80s, didn't they? And that's just purely, you're the fans, we're gonna fucking rock the shit out of you, sort of stuff. And
Imaginary guitars.
fucking brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Love it, absolutely love it.
Yeah.
There's almost a charm to
Yes.
their translation for what they,
Yes.
because they were
Always had.
German.
Yeah.
And there's like a
Always
charm in
been
their
that way.
lyrics, isn't there? It's
And
just,
and his pronunciation of some of the song, some of the
yeah.
words and everything. Just brilliant.
I remember
Yeah.
on that Worldwide Live video again, there's like they're taking the piss out of each other because of their broken English and that, and the way they find it hard. But that was part of it that made them so fucking
Yeah.
special. Yeah. Well,
God bless Scorpion.
makes them so special. Just a
Yeah.
quick one. I mean, I know there's always rumors flying around on Facebook about band members, but apparently Klaus is not too good at the moment. I've heard he's not that well.
He's not
So
doing well. Well, I mean, they are all up there, man. They're all up there. I mean, if the band started in '65, I mean, do the math.
yeah, no, exactly. So best wishes to Klaus, obviously.
Yeah.
But mate,
Everyone's time comes though.
it does. It does. I mean,
If you
his
have to go out
voice,
with an album, I would say Rock Believer is a pretty damn
yeah,
strong album to go out on. So
yeah,
fair play.
almost. It does almost feel like that. Like I said, rounding up their career almost with the songs on
Yeah,
that album for
quite
sure.
happy
But
with that. Yeah.
very cool, mate. Excellent. You got any? I've got a few honourables I could go through
I
first.
dive a few as well. Yeah. For
So
once, I have a few just because I was struggling.
I tried. I tried to go from obviously the oldest. I didn't have anything really old. Well, no, it's old because it's 70s, obviously, but I've already mentioned In Trance and Life's Like a River from In Trance 1975. 1976, I had Pictured Life. Really like that song.
Mm.
Um, and then, Is There Anybody There? I fought with myself a little bit and having that on there. And I think having Shine Out of Your Soul was almost fed my happiness to have that sort of song on.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
I I do really like No One Like You. I think it's just played that so much. I'm Leaving You off of Love at
Oh
First
yeah.
Sting.
Very good
I,
one.
I think the only thing that put me off of that is that it just basically repeats the verse. There's no
Over.
lyrically, it just does the same thing lyrically. And I really like Crossfire off of that album. I think that is brilliant. The way
It's a
the
deep, yeah.
the way the drums come in on the it gets like heavier like that sort of drumming. And I love Rhythm of Love, the first single off of Savage
Crazy
Amusement.
World.
Savage
Oh, no.
Amusement.
Oh, Savage Amusement. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, I really love the Rhythm of Love. I think it really like when I heard that I was like blown away. I just love that song. So that's
Oh,
my
really? Wow.
honorables. There you go.
Okay. I've got a couple. Yeah. Let me see if I can find them here. Where am I? Well, the first one is again off Crazy World. It was a single as well. I always thought this was a really standout song called "Don't Believe Her."
I like that. It's a
Um,
good song. Yeah, I
She'll
like
make
that.
you happy. She'll give you fever.
Yeah, I like
It's
that.
a really
I
good one.
like that.
And also the title track, "Crazy World," is another real kind of
Mm,
almost hit between the eyes, real rocker.
mm.
Great song as well. Off Savage Amusement, I always like a song called "Media Overkill."
Yeah, yeah, it's good.
It's got like the talk box. He's going satellite transmit the latest thrill. We can't
Can't
escape the
escape
media.
the
That's a good
media
song.
overkill. It's good.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I thought that should have been a single actually, but in 1997 they released a double called "Deadly Sting" of Best of the Mercury Years, and it had two new tracks on it. And one
Mm,
of them I've always really liked called "Over the Top." Um, it's very mid-paced, but it's rocking. But really melodic chorus.
mm,
Just one of those deep cuts that didn't get any
mm.
notice because it was on a best of. But yeah, Over the Top. Let me tell you, that is a great Scorpion song. And then my last one is off of Rock Believer as well.
Yeah.
I believe this was on the bonus tracks or whatever, which I don't know. I mean, I don't know if there were two different CDs that came out and one was had bonus tracks, whatever. I just have it off of my iTunes, whatever. But this is called "When Tomorrow Comes," and if you know it, it's the one where he like speaks during the verses, and it's very kind of dramatic.
I don't think I've heard
It
that. The only bonus track I've heard is the acoustic version of the
it's
ballad
quite
on it.
far down the album.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, it's quite far down the album. I think maybe it's like track 17 or something if you put all of them together.
Mm.
But it's fantastic, and Klaus is just amazing on it. He talks through all these verses, but he's almost sounds like a circus barker, like "ladies and gentlemen," that kind of thing. Yeah, really great. When Tomorrow Comes, definitely worth
I
seeking out.
have now you say that I have heard that song. So I remember that the style of singing. Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. It's a
Love it.
good song. Yeah.
And that's
No,
it.
very cool, mate. Absolutely brilliant. This is one of them bands. As we're talking, the memories are just mental. Do you know what I mean? For Scorpions,
Yeah.
just mental.
We
Because
just
one
want to
of
go outside and crack a few and
yeah.
put on our Scorpions playlists.
Oh yeah, definitely, mate. Amazing, mate. Thank you very much. Obviously, Scorps fans in the comments below. What's your favourite songs? Top 10, top
Brilliant.
5, whatever. Even your favourite track,
Love
it
it.
doesn't matter. But what a band. What a band. Hopefully, you never know, we might get another album, you know. You never know.
Maybe. Who
Uh,
knows? They
you know,
probably have plenty in the can that,
yeah,
someone needs to go through the tapes from like the 80s and the 90s. They probably have songs, that
definitely.
or
Yeah,
B-sides or whatever. So
agreed. Agreed. Thank you very much, mate. It's time.
you're welcome.
You ready?
Oh, yes.
Scorpions! Cheers, mate. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you soon.
See you guys.